Halo semuanya, welcome back with me again di EU Scholarship Info Day. Saya Alicia, saya akan menjadi moderator for today. Sorry, I'm going to speak in English because our panelist today is English speaking person. I'm going to invite Ms. Kati Temonen, the Second Secretary of Political and Cultural Affairs at the Embassy of Finland in Indonesia. It's a pleasure to have Ms. Kati here. Hello, Ms. Kati.
Hello and good afternoon. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. I also want to mention there is Mr. Devi Rizal as well here, the alumni of which university in Finland, Devi?
Metropolia University of Applied Science.
All right. Okay, I'm going to give the floor to both of you. Good luck and enjoy.
Thank you so much, Alicia. And I will actually just share my screen. Just 1 second. And let's put it in full screen. I hope you will see it properly now. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kati Temonen, and as introduced, I'm working at the Finnish Embassy here in Jakarta. And today we have also our alumni member, Devi Rizal, to talk about a bit more about his experiences about applying to study in Finland and then also eventually staying in Finland. He graduated some years ago now, but he probably has some very interesting information to share. But now in the beginning, I think I will go over a few slides of just some basic information about Finnish higher education system, as well as how to apply to the Finnish universities. And then the most important part is, of course, the fees and the scholarships info. So I will get to these in the next 10 minutes or so. I will try to be very, very brief. So for you who do not know yet, Finland is located there. So very far away from Indonesia, in Northern Europe. It is bordering Russia, Norway, and Sweden. And also in the southern, our southern neighbors are the Baltic states, so Estonia is the closest. We are a small country in terms of population. We are just 5.5 million people approximately, but our country is quite large, we would say. Not as large, of course, as Indonesia, but it is about 1,100 kilometers long. And as it is located in the north of Europe, our winters are quite cold and snowy, but then our summers are actually quite warm, and very typical for our summers is that our days are very long. So we don't really get a proper night during the summer months, starting sometime in June and July. Then Finland is known to be a leading education country in the world. We have very high quality education system, starting already from pre-primary education and going on from primary to higher education. We are known to be one of the greenest and the most innovative countries in the world. We have, for instance, a very clean environment and clean air to breathe. We're also known as to be a technology superpower. I think most of you must know Nokia. That is something that we became known for our technology innovations. But then since then, of course, we have had many others. So we have quite a lot of good expertise in that field. Very important is that we are a safe and a well-functioning society. As I think Alicia mentioned in the beginning, we have been voted or nominated the happiest country in the world already the 4th time in the row. And actually some of the basis for that prize or whatever, however you would call it, is that we are a safe society, a good society to live in for all ages, starting from children until the elderly. And lastly, we are a member country of the European Union already since 1995. About the Finnish higher education system, we have 13 universities and 22 universities of applied sciences. And both of these together, they offer more than 400 degree programs in English. So there is a lot to choose from in whichever you choose to study in or apply for. I will tell you a bit more about the differences of the universities and universities of applied sciences shortly. Here you see a map of Finland again, but it is showing the locations of the different universities and universities of applied sciences. So you really have a chance to go and live almost anywhere in Finland, all the way from Helsinki, which is in the south, our capital, all the way up to the north. I think our northest university or University of Applied Science is in Rovaniemi. But here is the list for your reference. So firstly, about the universities, they combine quality research with high-level education. They offer bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. Usually bachelor's is approximately 3 years, master's 2 years, and doctoral degrees start from 4 years. And we have quite an international student body in all of our universities. On average, 1 out of 10 of our master's students are international. For the universities of applied sciences, they offer professionally oriented higher education. It is more practically oriented. They offer bachelor's and master's degrees. The lengths are a little bit different than in the universities. And then if you apply for the master's in the universities of applied science, you have to have minimum of 2 years of work experience before you can apply. Also, the universities of applied sciences are rather international as well. And of course, looking for international students all the time. Here are a couple of websites you should write down now if you want to look for further information about study opportunities in Finland. The first one is studyinfo.fi. It is a very good database of different degree options offered in English in the Finnish universities or universities of applied sciences. So whatever you might be interested in, whether it's computer science or something else, IT, or whatever you are searching to study, you can just type it in and it shows you all the possibilities with just one click. So it's a very handy website. Application period is from November until January to start studying in September. So the one for this year ended in January, but the next one is then coming up at the end of this year. There are, of course, application periods to start also in the beginning of the year. So they might have already some rounds coming to open, but you have to check the exact dates for this in the websites of the universities or the UASs. The good thing about applying to study for bachelor's and master's studies is that there is no application fee at all. And the second website, a very important one, is studyinfinland.fi, which includes detailed information about the universities that we have and also their websites. So they have the full listing. And then this website offers very good basic information about admissions and also on scholarships, which I'm going to talk about next. So that is a good one to also refer to. If you're seeking to study doctoral studies or doing research in Finland, applications are usually made directly to the university. Different universities have different doctoral studies and programs, so it is very difficult to say anything general about it, but it is good to check with each universities about the timetable and the procedures about the university you are wishing to apply to. The website I mentioned in my previous slide, studyinfinland.fi, it is a good source also for information about doctoral studies. So please check it out if it would be relevant for you. At the doctoral level, there are no tuition fees. So here is I guess the information you are really looking for. How much does it cost? How much you should have with you? money in your bank account to be able to even apply for the residence permits. Yes, there are tuition fees for non-EU students in all English taught bachelor's and master's programs. But the fees, they vary depending on the degree program. And to know the exact amounts, you should check either the website studyinfo.fi or go to the website of the university. But here are just some ranges you can get the reference of that how much it would potentially cost. Bachelor studies a little bit cheaper than master studies, and these amounts are per year. Anyway, even though there are tuition fees, they are usually a little bit smaller than in some other universities in Europe, so they are quite not that bad. Anyway, scholarships are offered by all the universities in all the fee charging programs. And in my next slide, I will tell you a bit more about them, the scholarships. You have to be also ready for to cover any living costs, so on the top of the tuition fees. So when you are eventually applying for your student residence permits, you need to be able to show that you have appropriate funds. And I think nowadays it's a little bit less than 7,000 euros per year. And here it also shows the monthly expenses in Finland, which are approximately 700 to 900 euros. Of course, depending on the city and place where you live. Of course, it's a bit more expensive in the capital region than outside of it. And here is the important information for you. The scholarship system in Finland is quite straightforward because, yes, you apply for the scholarships from the university. So there is no other like central system, for instance, offered by the government. You would apply to it. So they are offered by the universities, and you apply for the scholarship at the same time when you are applying for admission. So when you're doing your application for the degree program, you also apply for the scholarship at the same time. Usually the scholarships, they cover the tuition fee either 100% or partially, but this also depends on the degree program as well as the university in question. So you should always check the details with the university or the UAS you are interested in. At the doctoral level, I already mentioned that there are no tuition fees, but if you are looking for a scholarship, then there are different options. There are these national EduFi scholarships. There is information available online on these. Universities, they also offer their own scholarships and grants, and then there are also grant awarding foundations. So there are several funding opportunities available for the doctoral level. So yes, yeah, as I already mentioned in the beginning, yes, Finland is a very good place to study also, and spend your year or two or however long you would like to stay. Yeah, and experience also the vibrant student life. And I think Devi will mention a bit more about that later. But before I finish, I will just show you one more slide, which is about after you have finished your studies. We're of course hoping that as many of our international students as possible would stay in Finland to look for job opportunities. And actually, after your graduation, you can extend your residence permit for 1 year to look for employment. And so you have 1 year to look for it. And then eventually, if or when you get a job, then you can apply for a residence permit based on your employment. There is a website for anyone interested in just checking out about job opportunities. Yeah, you can write that down. And yeah, then also we have quite a good alumni network also available for anyone who has studied in Finland in the universities or the UASs. And here, just in a nutshell, your 5 steps to Finland. This is the website I really recommend you to visit. Check admissions information, apply to programs and scholarships, wait for the acceptance letter, and then, of course, eventually prepare for the arrival, apply for the student residence permit, accommodation, all the practicalities. But yeah, I think this is my part now, and now I think I will give the screen to our alumni, Devi, and I will also share his one slide. So I will keep my presentation open here, but I will give the floor to him. Thank you.
Oke, thank you Kati. Halo teman-teman semua. Mungkin penjelasan dari Kati sudah sangat lengkap teknisnya. Dan kita hanya fokus untuk mengunjungi satu website yaitu studyinfo.fi. Kemudian setelah teman-teman keterima di Finland, apa sih biasanya kegiatan-kegiatan yang kita lakukan? Dan karena kan pasti kita juga merasa bingung juga kalau misalnya kita hanya sendiri di sana, dan ternyata bahwa kegiatan-kegiatan yang ada di tempat kita studi itu juga cukup banyak. Contohnya kalau untuk di Finland tuh ada 4 organisasi yang cukup aktif. Yang pertama tentunya Student Association, yaitu PPI Finlandia, di mana nanti teman-teman akan masuk ke dalam wadah organisasi kemahasiswaan yang ada di Finland dan akan bertemu dengan teman-teman yang sama-sama berjuang belajar di Finlandia. Tentunya nanti suka dukanya kita akan bagi bersama di sana supaya kita tidak mengalami namanya mungkin homesick ataupun apapun itu, sehingga juga biasanya saling sesama teman itu bisa membantu. Nah, kemudian yang kedua itu adalah Ikatan Masyarakat Muslim Indonesia atau IMI di Finlandia. Nah, biasanya kita yang beragama Islam tentunya kita cukup asing lah dengan negara Finlandia, dan kita kadang-kadang bertanya-tanya apakah ada makanan halal segala macam, apakah ada masjid segala macam. Nah, biasanya nanti kita setelah bergabung dengan IMI, kita ada kegiatan pengajian, kegiatan tadarusan. Biasanya kalau kayak sekarang puasa ini kita ada buka bersama di saat weekend, kemudian ada sholat tarawih bersama juga, dan tentunya nanti juga ada sholat id bersama. Jadi tentunya kita akan juga merasa seperti keluarga sendiri lah waktu di sana. Kemudian untuk teman-teman yang beragama Kristen, kita juga ada masyarakat Kristen Oikumene Indonesia Finlandia, itu disingkat dengan Makro IF. Di sana juga teman-teman banyak melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan bersama seperti outdoor, misalnya kegiatan outdoor bersama-sama, sehingga terjalin keakraban antar sesama keluarga yang ada di Finlandia. Kemudian yang terakhir yaitu diaspora Indonesia Finlandia dan Estonia. Nah, karena KBRI kita itu mencakup 2 negara yaitu Finlandia dan Estonia, maka diaspora yang ada di sana tergabung juga antara Finlandia dan Estonia. Biasanya kegiatan teman-teman di sini adalah tentunya misalnya ada yang suami atau istrinya yang orang asing, bisa saling berdiskusi kira-kira untuk persyaratan dokumen apa, misalnya memperpanjang resident permit ataupun mau bawa keluarganya ke Finlandia atau segala macam. Tentunya nanti bersama teman-teman ini kita akan berdiskusi bersama dan juga membantu teman-teman dalam menghadapi permasalahan yang ada. Jadi benar-benar kita warga Indonesia yang mungkin kurang dari 1.000 orang di sana bisa menjadi keluarga yang sangat erat walaupun kita jauh dari negara kita di Indonesia. Mungkin segitu teman-teman, kalau ada pertanyaan bisa dilanjutkan. Oke, Kati, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation, both Mas Devi and Ms. Kathy. We're going to begin the Q&A session. All right, first question. I'm going to do this in English, yeah? Do we have to apply the scholarship and the university separately? Ms. Kathy, you can answer this.
Yeah, so basically how it works is that you apply for the scholarship at the same time, simultaneously with the application to the university. So when you are submitting the application, you are also submitting the application for the scholarship. So this is at least how it should work in the usual cases. So yes.
All right, thank you. Second question. So the scholarship mentioned before, wait, let me read this first. Oh, okay. So you mentioned that the scholarship will cover tuition fee. However, how about the living costs? Is there any scholarship that covers it as well? Yeah, and then for the second part, I want to ask to Mas Devi, how do you cover the living costs over there? Did you have to do part-time job, or what did you do to save up money in terms of living in Finland? Go ahead.
Ya, terima kasih. Waktu saya kuliah memang tuition fee-nya saya dapatkan itu ditanggung oleh pemerintah Finland, jadi tidak perlu membayar. Kemudian untuk biaya hidup kita bisa melalui part-time job, memang yang paling ini. Tapi tetap juga kita harus punya saving supaya kita bisa hidup di awal sekitar 3 atau 6 bulan di awal. Karena memang untuk mencari pekerjaan kan tidak gampang juga kan, karena Finland itu kan negara yang cukup kecil, jadi lowongan kerja pun juga nggak banyak. Jadi kita tetap juga harus mempersiapkan juga secara finansial gitu. Tapi ada beberapa kampus yang beberapa tahun belakangan ini juga benar-benar memberikan full scholarship, tapi nggak semuanya dan tergantung dari program dan level dari pendidikan yang kita pengen. Jadi kita harus sering-sering buka sih studyinfo.fi dan kira-kira yang mana yang memang sangat memberikan manfaat yang banyak bagi kita. Gitu.
Okay, thank you, Mas Devi. So, Kathy, do you have any information about any scholarship that will cover living expenses as well?
To my understanding, most of the scholarships are just covering the tuition fees. So yeah, if there are any additional living costs or there will be additional living costs, then those ones should be covered with the own savings. And this is actually something we are also checking when you are applying for the residence permit. So you have some appropriate fundings to cover all the rest. But perhaps there might be some national scholarships available here in Indonesia that could be helping towards the living costs. But primarily, as far as I know, it's just tuition fees.
Okay. Going back to that statement, how much funding does a student needs to have in their bank account to apply for student visa?
Yeah, for the student residence permits, it is required to have now approximately 7,000 euros. It's a little bit less than that when you are applying for the residence permit for 1 year. So of course, if you're applying for further years, then you always have to have that extra amount worth something like 7,000 euros to show. You have to actually show your bank statement that you actually hold the funds.
I see. Okay. Does the student need to renew the bank statement and provide the paperwork again every year or after they finish their academic year?
I don't know exactly the details, but this is actually something that our migration office is then looking at. So it might be a good idea to visit also their website for the further details. So yeah, that would be my advice at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So so if you are looking into the possibilities to apply for any Finnish universities, make sure to go to the what website again, Miss Kathy?
Studyinfo.fi, and then also the other website is the studyinfinland.fi. So these are the two websites that show you most of the information you will need.
All right, thank you. Next question: What is the policy for self-quarantine for upcoming students during the pandemic? Ms. Kathy, do you have any information about that?
Well, at the moment, of course, we don't know what the situation will be when the academic year will start. So I cannot give you any predictions for that. But at the moment, the period for self-quarantine is minimum of 72 hours. So yeah, that's what you have to do. And you can do it at your own home or wherever you are going first when you land in the country. So that's the minimum time.
The minimum time is 72 hours, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Well, actually, this is the end of our session because we're running out of time. Thank you so much, Miss Kathy, Mas Devi. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alicia.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kathy.
Bye.